She's been hanging out with not really hanging out too much, but she's been conversing with people of a rival posse. And she I do kind of like this blue. What do you think? Ignore the gun belt. The gun belt will go back to how it's supposed to. Do we like this? Or no? Ignore the black pants. Okay. That's what it's supposed to look like. Is this okay for today? I kind of like this. Yeah. Okay. So she's been hanging out with, like I said, a rival posse's family members. Just here and there. You know, trying to make some new friends. And because of that, they started to see her as friendly. Which, I mean, Miss Daisy is friendly. She's not really ever one to be hostile. I mean, she can if she needs to be, but... I put a blue bow. Do you think that shade of blue matches? Or should I do white? Do the white. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I have to get back in the clothing story. Let me finish doing this so I'm not distracted the whole time trying to explain. Oh, the amount of work that I do to just get some damn hair accessories in. Is that a hot air balloon? Nope, that's not a hot air balloon. Okay, she's in trouble, so she kind of needs to be on edge a little bit. We're gonna go back here for a minute. She's been hanging out with the rival posse family members, just here and there, being friendly, being, you know, kind to them, talking, because there wasn't a whole lot going on, and her ex-husband hadn't been around, and she was, like, kind of associating with them, so she would go by and see them, ask them how their day was going, that sort of thing. Well, because of her not seeing them, or them not being around, she started talking to, like I said, those people. And then she also was talking to a lawman, just here and there. Her and Billy have been friends. Or, yeah, actually no, I would consider them friends. So she was out and about, just traveling around. She ends up getting bit by a wolf, has to go into Blackwater to seek medical attention. But before that, she gets a letter on the ground that says, come to Valentine. So she goes to Valentine. But on the way to Valentine, she actually passes Wyatt and
a very good morning to you.
And Locke and Russell, Brad's family members. And so she stopped and she was talking to them, asking them, you know, like where they'd been. They said, oh, I've been to, like we've been on a vacation to Gorma. So she said, all right, you know, they, I want to say they requested her to go to Blackwater, but I honestly can't remember. Somehow we ended up in Blackwater, and Wyatt's a bit crazy, right? We remember Wyatt being a bit kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and she was talking to him, and he said, Miss Daisy, like there's people, say I'm standing here in Blackwater talking to Wyatt, where that lady with the pink dress is, that's kind of where like the other posse was standing. Of course, in character, Miss Daisy doesn't know that it's the right, like she didn't realize that they were a posse at the time.
A very good morning to you.
So they were staring at me and Wyatt and Russell, and I think Locke was there as well. And so Wyatt goes, Miss Daisy, I want you to go to the end of the street and ask him, or ask them if they have a problem with us or with me. And if they do have a problem with me, I would like to have a meeting with them to apologize for anything that I've done wrong. And so she says, is that in order? And he goes, yes, it is. And because these people have basically like beat Daisy before, she follows them. She goes and talks to Havana, which is a girl that she's been, you know, talking to here and there, being friendly with. And so she goes up to him and she says, I was told to ask you if you have a problem with Wyatt, and if you do, then he would like to have a meeting. Basically, you know, and Havana responds, well, he should have come over here and said that himself, not sent a messenger. And I said, yeah, I don't know that if that's a good idea. And so then she says, well, tell Wyatt I have to wait for the boss to wake up. So that's what she does. She goes back and she tells him that he'll have to wait for the boss. I go back over, tell Wyatt. And then of course they're seeing Miss Daisy interacting with Wyatt, and so they're kind of wondering, you know, like what the hell. But she didn't know that they were rivals at the time. And she also didn't see Brad at first. Wyatt said, Brad doesn't hate you, he's just over there. He's just being I think he said he's just being a bitch or something like that. And so Russell made a comment, you know, about Miss Daisy's chaps. She was wearing the pink chaps that show off her bum really good, and he goes, Miss Daisy, do a twirl for me. And so she just goes like this, and he goes, yeah, I see why Brad was talking to you. And then she pops back and says, you know, that's your brother. And he goes, well, maybe. Something along the lines of that. So I'll read that here in a minute. So she still is injured, right? And she's alerted for a medic twice. One of the reasons why she's alerted for a medic is because Wyatt wants Beatrice. Beatrice is a medic. Wyatt told Beatrice, or no, Wyatt has been scaring Beatrice, and she's placed a restraining order against him. And so Wyatt has asked Daisy to get Beatrice alone. And she's agreed to do it. Daisy's agreed to work with Wyatt to get Beatrice alone. She doesn't know how she's gonna do that. And she doesn't know what's gonna happen. But Wyatt confessed that he's been insane and a psycho the entire time. So Miss Daisy is kind of trying to decide, is this really a good idea? Probably not. She's upset. Enemy posse. Because also, let me just say it. After their conversation about how we're gonna have to wait until the boss wakes up, they said, well, we'll just go down there and talk to him. Or something along the lines of that. I can't remember word for word. Anyway, they go down there. Also, you can watch yesterday's stream to see it all unfold if you wish. I'd say it's about halfway through. It is a long stream, but they go and talk, and Miss Daisy is standing, a bit away. If you're not in a posse, you're not really supposed to be involved into the interaction too much. And so Miss Daisy, of course, she sees Brad. She wants to make sure that he's okay. Even though they're not together anymore, she still cares about him and has been thinking about him a lot. So she's keeping an eye out, and watching the whole thing unfold. And then she's like debating, do I alert Law? Because the conversation was peaceful, and then all of a sudden gunshot rings out, and it's not good. So she's trying to make sure they were safe. Anyway, the entire enemy posse gets killed. You know what? Actually, screw this. I'm gonna show you. We're just gonna watch it together. I won't take too long. Let me actually log out so I'm not sitting here just wasting time. Because I know where, like, I'll be able to show you where it's at. On Twitch. Here we go. Video producer. Yesterday's scene was pretty intense. Window capture. Source visible. Yet. Here we go. Our stream, which is pretty damn crazy. I'm gonna play it kind of fast just so we're not here forever, because it'd take a while. You turn it up. I don't have a second. This is after she gets the letter. With the infection, your mobility is kind of nerfed. So she ends up running into Wyatt.
Excuse me,
right here.
little lady with the red and black. Have you seen Beatrice at all? I need some medical assistance.
And then she...
And behind the thing.
Strictly business, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just wondering.